Hey, what's up? My name is J.M. Chaley and welcome to my channel. This week I want to talk about Kindle Vella. This is Amazon's relatively new, as of this recording in 2022, relatively new publishing platform. If you're not familiar with Kindle Vella is a publishing platform through KDP in which the works are published in an episode format. So the episodes come out weekly, monthly, whenever, however often the author wants to release them, and your readers read your story one episode at a time. And they purchase each episode one at a time and read them. Recently I've been looking at Kindle Vella both as a reader and as a potential author, but I'll get to that later. Let's talk about how Kindle Vella works. Now, there's a lot of videos out there on Kindle Vella that you can find. There's a lot of books out there on how to market and use Kindle Vella. There's a lot of content. A lot of these videos are like 40 minutes, an hour long. There's a lot to it. I'm going to give a very brief overview of how it works both as a reader and as an author. I have not published anything through Kindle Vella yet as of this recording, but I did research that part of the Kindle Vella publishing process. But let's begin with how to read Kindle Vella. How do you get these episodes? How do you find them? Well, first of all, you have to go to Amazon and search Kindle Vella. A simple search will bring you up to their Kindle Vella page. I'll also put the link down in the description. When you sign up for Kindle Vella, you get 500 free tokens. Tokens are how you pay for episodes. You don't pay via cash. You have 500 free tokens, and the episodes that you're reading, you always get the first 3 for free from whatever author or storyline that you're following. The first 3 are always free. After the 3rd episode, the 4th one costs tokens. The tokens are at a cost of about 100 words per token. So depending on the length of the episode you want to buy, it'll cost that many tokens. The length of the episodes can be anywhere from 600 words to 5,000 words, with the average that I've seen talked about with other authors being around anywhere from 1,200 to 2,000 words. So at 1 token per 100 words, a 2,000 word episode would be 20 tokens. You can also buy more tokens when you need them. You can buy $200 for $1.99, so it's about a penny a token. You can buy 500 tokens for $4.99, so now we're getting less than a penny. You can buy 1,100 tokens for $9.99, and you can buy the largest package, which is 1,700 tokens for $14.99. Now you go in to check Kindle Vella and you're checking it out and you want to find a story that's right for you. You can search on different genres, of course, but they also have tags. So maybe you want to do something fantasy fiction. You love fantasy fiction, but you specifically want something about vampires. So you can actually just type in vampires. You can type in aliens. You can type in space odyssey, cowboys. It doesn't matter. You can type in romance. So the idea of the genre versus the tag kind of blends together. And you can have multiple tags. So you can say, I want a vampire story, but it's historical romance, right? So you can get very granular and find the exact type of story that you're looking for. There's different ways that you can also interact with the story as a reader. If you like an episode, you can give it a thumbs up. It's kind of like giving it a like. You can follow the story. So when a new episode is published, you get a notification that, hey, there's a new episode for you to go read. You can write a review. You can also give it a fave. Now, a fave you can only give once a week, and you can only spend them if you have purchased tokens. So if you're a new Kindle user and you only have the first 500 tokens they give to you for free, you can't give anyone a fave. It looks like a little crown on their story, and you only get them once a week. So now imagine the economy here in the Kindle Vella world, if you see something with a lot of likes, it doesn't cost anyone to give a like. That's fine. But when you see a story with a lot of faves, a lot of little crown pictures, that's an indication that people have gone out of their way to give a very finite accolade that they have to a particular story or a particular episode. And that may be an attractive metric for you to gravitate to if that's what you are looking for. Let's talk about being an author. So you upload your story to the author platform that they have on their site. Amazon will review your episode before they just put it out there. Give 4 days for it to go live. So if you're someone that publishes every week, some people publish a story every week, you'll want to factor in that 4 days. You also want to tag your story with the appropriate genre tags and content tags. So if you want something like urban werewolf, you want that in there. If you want something like historical fantasy, cowboy, alien, I don't know, it's not Wattpad, but bear with me. Then you want to tag it with that so that your story can be better found or easier found by readers who are looking for the kind of story that you're writing. You also get paid, which is great because that's part of why we do this, right? You get paid 50% of the cost of the token that the reader has spent to read your story. So remember before when I said a 2,000 word episode would cost 20 tokens? Well, you are paid the cost of 10 tokens on that. Now, depending on the cost of the token that they spent when they bought their package of tokens, that could mean you're getting a penny per token or less than a penny per token. It depends on the cost of each token per the package they bought. Amazon also does bonuses every month. Now, the bonuses, and if you go out and you talk to other authors about how the bonuses are calculated, Amazon has not been very clear about that. But what I can tell you is that it involves a few different metrics. One, it involves how many free tokens have been spent reading your story. So if someone's reading your content with those 500 free tokens and they're not spending money on tokens, you still get a percentage of that. Right now, the rate is going for about 1 penny per token. Right? So you'd get 50%, you'd get a half a penny a token. They may change that. I don't know. The other part of the bonus that you get is based on how many likes your stories are getting, your episodes are getting, and how many faves your stories and episodes are getting. So if your episodes are getting a lot of followers, a lot of likes, a lot of faves, you're going to make more money just because it's that much more popular, and Amazon wants you to keep writing. So they're going to pay you. One of the other things that I think a lot of Kindle Vella authors wonder about is how else they can publish. So Amazon doesn't want you publishing your stories anywhere else but on Kindle Vella. So you can't publish a story here and then over here. However, after 30 days, once you've finished an arc, a completed set of stories, you can publish them in an anthology because you still own them. That you can take and publish anywhere. So it's a little confusing, it's a little kludgy. And what do they mean by a final episode? Well, I think they mean you're done, right? And if you want to keep writing stories about that character, you may need to create another instance, another suite of episodes that are not these episodes. This one's done, you start another one. So that's kind of a dangerous thing, because if you've got people following the story over here and you make your final episode because you want to publish a compendium, and then you come down here and start, story arc number 2, season 2 or whatever, the readers you have up here may not know that you're doing that and may not follow you down here, so you may lose some readership. So it's kind of a dangerous game to play if you're going to dabble in the multi-publishing platform arena. And I'm sure Amazon is aware of that, and they're doing that on purpose. But what are you going to do? There are 3 Kindle Vella Facebook groups that I belong to, and I've been using them as a resource to ask questions and check out the platform as I kind of scratch my head and wonder if I'm going to be a publisher on it. Those Facebook groups are linked below, but they're called Kindle Vella Authors, Kindle Vella Stories, and Kindle Vella Author Support Group. They're all great platforms. On the Kindle Vella Story one, you can actually publish links to your own story and promo yourself, which is cool. Now, these stories come out so often, weekly, monthly. In fact, they'll tell you that a story may not have been updated in a month. So it calls you out, and your readers may find a storyline that they like and go, oh, well, I don't know if this person's still active, if they're still doing it. Why bother even getting involved? So it's dangerous if you want to build a readership, keep them, and don't keep putting out new episodes at least once a month. So that said, I asked many authors, how do you have time not just to write, but to go through beta readers and critique partners? And they all pretty much unanimously said, we don't use them. We write them, we edit them ourselves, we take time to make sure they're as good as they can be, but we really don't have time to do that. Some people publish once a week, and they just zero time to show anyone or have anyone review it. There were a couple of people that said, yeah, I have a buddy that always reads my thing before I send. Maybe you can find someone like that too. But for the bulk of people on Kindle Vella, they're not beta reading. They're not using critique partners or anything like that. So, these stories can be a little rough, but it's also, they're keeping them coming out quite often. So why am I looking at Kindle Vella? Well, just as a reader, I think it might be an interesting way to consume stories. But as a potential author, I'm wondering if this is a way to get my stories out. Now, I'm not expecting it's going to be a big moneymaker, but I'm wondering if this might be a neat way to leverage the stuff that I'm writing, I'll say traditionally, regardless of how it's published, in a novel format versus this episodal kind of content. So I'll tell you what I'm talking about. If you've been following my channel, you know that I have kind of in the back of my head this Siren story, this series of novels that I want to get to after I do my Cynthia stuff, my Flower and Hell trilogy, let's call it. I want to write this urban fantasy series about this siren. It involves all different kinds of supernatural critters and beings and stuff, and there's gods and goddesses from all different pantheons. I've talked about it a little bit in some of my other videos. So I was thinking about doing a Kindle Vella series on one of the side characters. So now I have this kind of, Kindle Vella series over here, and then when my Siren story comes along, I can, use this platform and other platforms of mine to point my potential readers and say, hey, if you want to know what's going on with so-and-so, read this series. And I could have, crossover events where my episodal kind of thing that you're getting, every week or every couple of weeks or every month is intersecting with, my latest book over here. So, I don't know. It's a lot of work. It would be a lot of work. I don't know what the big reward would be on it. I was thinking about doing at least a story arc, 6 or 7 episodes, depending on how long it would take me to wrap up, the very first episode to the problem, to the solution, wrap it up, and then see if it's worth doing, other arcs. But that's kind of where my head is at, and I'm sharing that with you here about me debating getting into the, diving into the Kindle Vella pool. But I will let you know as I contemplate that. I will also share that I'm writing a couple of episodes of this particular side character because I want to write them and then make the decisions once I have maybe several episodes under my belt, have some stuff to upload. If it doesn't go anywhere, if I decide not to go into Kindle Vella, I might publish them on my website instead, or maybe I'll send them out through my newsletter. Maybe I'll do that through my newsletter, you know, because I'm trying to get people to sign up to my newsletter, so like a perk, like, hey, read this story of mine. I don't know. I'm all over the place. I'm on the fence. I'm sharing this with you. One of the first things I said when I started this channel was I was going to share my writing journey with you. It's not pretty. I'm all over the place. I'm a mess. But this is where my head is at. Kindle Vella. Yeah, it looks interesting, and it looks like it could be some fun, and it looks like a new way to do things. But I'm just kind of weighing the reward versus the effort. But I'm going to keep plugging at it. Stay tuned for other Kindle Vella videos from me. I'll let you know how it's going, let you know where my head is at as I move through this process. But yeah, stay tuned. So that about wraps it up. Kindle Vella, how to read it, how to write for it. More to come. Woof. Yeah. Stay tuned. If you like this video, please give it a like, and as always, please subscribe. I post every Thursday, and you can follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and you can read the first chapter of my debut novel, Work in Progress, A Flower in Hell, on jmchaley.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.